I built a party card game called JailBird as a passion project. I was mentored by Exploding Kitten's Throw Their Breeder creator, and we took it to a 5-figure launch. We survived manufacturing scams, COVID playtest shutdowns, and brutal ad platform shifts just to get it across the finish line. I didn't make millions, but I learned exactly how the physical product engine works by doing it. And so today I'm breaking down the exact architecture I use now to automate sales, as well as the 3 big mistakes that will ruin your creator brand if you don't map them out first. So JailBird started as a high-stakes entrepreneurship program at the University of Washington. The program was pretty straightforward. You would have real investors come in, they would give us capital, and if we didn't build a viable product within 2 quarters, we would fail the class. Now, as an arrogant 20-year-old with a underdeveloped prefrontal cortex, I just thought like I had to code something and then it would all be okay and I'd make zillions of dollars. Turns out it doesn't work like that. Software is kind of a abstraction and it takes years to reach product market fit and profitability. So we pivoted to the world of e-commerce. Instead of a tech app, we ended up building JailBird, a party card game about framing your friends for bird crimes. To build this, we were actually mentored by Brian Spence. He's the creator and inventor of Exploding Kitten's game Throw Their Burrito. It's super fun. It's also sold over $200 million globally to date, so it's crazy. We had product market fit. We had an insane mentor, we had the design, and we had investor cash. So I thought we were totally golden. But turns out things don't work that easily. You know, we did eventually have this great launch, but before all this, I got punched in the face by the physical goods supply chain. And so here's mistake number 1 is verify your manufacturer or they will verify you. We ended up using a manufacturer from India that one of our co-founders' parents knew peripherally. We were expecting premium playing cards, this magnetic, here, I'm just gonna get it. This is our finished product. This is the thing they sent us. And so we were expecting this where it's magnetic clasp, a booklet that actually is a booklet, and then playing cards that are buttery smooth and look and feel like playing cards. This was our second run of product, our second manufacturing. This is what our original manufacturers sent us. And so let me just show you how long it takes to open. They're crazy. Like it was stuck in there. And they gave us cards that were functionally, these are business cards. And it was a mess. So what happened was they sent us a prototype that we absolutely loved. But when it came to the real thing and we wired the money, they sent us 200 units of this piece of garbage. And just to clarify, there's nothing wrong with the design. This was our original box art. We ended up revamping it later, but the main thing was the box was super hard to open and the cards didn't feel like cards. So we had a product we felt would ruin our brand if we shipped it to customers. Side note, this happens at every level of scale. You see creators all the time, they launch this big old product and it sucks and it flops and then their community turns on them because did something to their product quality without telling them. So we were stuck with thousands of dollars of inventory with a product that we could not ship and a launch deadline ticking down. And this was the moment I realized that in e-commerce, you cannot control overseas factories, but you can control the digital infrastructure. Our margins were slashed before we even got to fix this physical mess. Our digital setup had to be flawlessly efficient in order to break even. We couldn't afford to waste a single dollar on bad traffic that wouldn't convert to an actual sale. Which brings us to mistake number 2, Lunar New Year holidays and the customs illusions. I just want to say, like, when you run a digital brand or when you create content, if you schedule a post for Tuesday, it goes live on Tuesday. There's nothing to it. But the physical world does not care about your content schedule. After we moved our manufacturer in India, we went to production in China. And then we ran headfirst into Chinese Lunar New Year. And if you've never run e-commerce brand before or done manufacturing in China, think of it not as a 2-day nice old holiday, but a 3 to 4 week blackout. And so just to demonstrate, right, factories close, but it's more than that because the workers will go home 2 to 3 weeks early. The factories are totally dark. All the production lines are halted. And so if your files are approved, your deposit in place, and they've started manufacturing by like late November, early December, your product will sit in a queue until March and nothing will happen. And so for us at JailBird, we missed a critical production window by just a few days. And because of that, it shifted our launch back by 2 to 3 months. And on top of that, even when your product is finished or not actually done, you'll still have to wait for it to cross the ocean in a freight and then to clear customs. And both of those take a long time. For us, I think shipping took about 3 to 4 weeks, I want to say. But then it reached a port in California, and then there was literally months of silence because this was COVID while our game sat in a shipping container waiting for clearance. If you promise your audience like a holiday drop in December, but don't factor in the Golden Week holidays and the port congestion and all these different things, you will be left holding a completely empty storefront while comments from your audience fill up on like, hey, where's my order? This leads to mistake number 3. And this is where I would say 90% of creators who actually survive the manufacturing and the customs process will end up losing money. So this is having a leaky storefront and not owning customer data. So for us, because of our manufacturing delays and shipping costs, our goodwill with our customers was plummeting and margins on JailBird were never really high to begin with. But we couldn't afford to waste money. I kind of assumed at the time, like we would just build a cool product. We had great mentorship and people would buy just because we posted about it. And I was wrong, right? We launched and got a big spike of traffic to our Kickstarter and then absolute silence. We did have some upsells, but what I didn't realize when I was young is that attention is highly variable. Someone clicks your link from Instagram, they open your tab, they get a text message, but if they don't buy and they close the tab, they're gone forever. And so we had been building hype for so long that a lot of our customers kind of started to forget about us. We had social media traffic, but we never captured that data in a way that made sense. We had a pre-sale funnel, and so people could actually pay and we got their customer data like that, but we didn't have anything in between. There was either our audience online or a paying customer. There wasn't the state of, hey, we're interested in your product, but we haven't yet bought. And the thing with how algorithms work on Instagram or on YouTube or on TikTok is that they may see your profile, they may like it, but if they don't interact with your content, they may never see you again. They're not in the second bucket or this third bucket of having bought. Even if they're interested in your product, they may totally miss your launch just because the algorithm doesn't serve them that content. And so we didn't know this. We leveraged our initial following and our community, but we didn't know how to reach that third degree network. So for you, if you're a creator and you're waiting for product to be on hand, you have to have some sort of email capture or SMS capture just to keep people warm, because you lose their attention so fast. And especially with algorithms and with the platform changes that happen all the time, if you don't have their information, your reach can tank the next day and they'll never see you again. We did sell to retail stores across the US. We sold on Amazon.com and Walmart.com, but a lot of our customer data we didn't own because we had a custom backend. We didn't use Shopify at the time. And so without a proper backend infrastructure, we had zero automated sales or email funnels or SMS loops or normal upsells. For every $1 we made, we probably could have made 4, but we just didn't know about all this stuff at the time. So surviving these 3 mistakes or these 3 traps is exactly why I don't run a traditional marketing agency. I became what's called a growth operator for creators and other brands. Here's a reality, like supply chain is brutal and it's chaotic. You will face shipping delays, manufacturing will fluctuate. Remember the tariffs a while back, but if you already have an audience of 50K, 100K, 200K, you already have the building blocks to de-risk your entire brand. And so this is just a framework we use internally just to see where people's health score for their brand is. And the biggest brands are using all of these, right? They're using inbound, outbound, and retention. And often a lot of creators are just so overwhelmed by everything else that they never get to this. And so in order to survive, your business must be resilient to platform and algorithm changes. You need revenue architecture that will capture every drop of attention. So if your Shopify storefront and your abandoned checkout flows and your customer retention loops are dialed in, fully automated and conversion optimized, you will grow and you will win. Your margins will skyrocket. And this protects your time. This protects your reputation with your audience. And you turn your existing audience leverage into a predictable form of revenue. It's a predictable revenue engine. But if you don't have all of this, one algorithm change can destroy your business. So if you have an e-com brand right now, or if you're planning a launch and you want to make sure your store isn't losing sales or losing customers, check out my other content. I talk a lot more about that. And hey, if you want me to take a look at your current setup and just do an audit really quick for free, you can click the link below and we'll chat. So to recap, verify your manufacturer. Please factor in the local holidays and shipping times into your announcements and marketing, and make sure you have digital infrastructure and revenue architecture in order to maximize your existing audience and your existing reach. So hope that's helpful. If this was at all meaningful to you, like and subscribe, and please go forth and build a brand worth owning. Peace.